This is, I hope, one of my dear friends, and I feel like you are so lucky to have him as a clinician. This is Brian Hamada, and Joaquin's having fun back there. And Brian is this incredible drummer and musician and writer and thinker.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Clay. Well, I goes without saying, Mr. Clay is one of my favorite people of all time. So the feeling, so it's an honor to get to talk to your band, and I finally get to hear you guys. Actually, I came down. Was it last year I came down?
Yeah. You came to the concert.
How cool was that? Yeah, that's nice. Oh, nice bow tie.
Thank you.
Joaquin and I have become very good friends over the last couple of years too, so I feel a personal connection to your band.
He didn't really know. Both he and I were kind of going, what do we do with this? You know, so.
Well, I think you have the right idea. It's kind of a New Orleans thing. You know, so let's take it from the top. About right here. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now, I think you could. Sorry, what's your name? Cameron. Cameron, I think you could like feel more at home. It sort of feels like, first it's the first tune. You need to feel like you've been doing this for about an hour, and then all of a sudden something just cut you in your arm. You've been losing. So relax a little bit. Feels a bit pushed. And open up the hi-hat. Get a little more meat. Put a little more meat on those bones. Yeah, kind of make it fat. You know, the whole New Orleans thing is kind of sloppy, but groovy, kind of loose in the middle, kind of groove. So that thing you do on the snare drum, that's kind of the same feeling. You could do that on the snare drum, I like it. Try it on the snare drum instead of a hi-hat. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back to the hi-hat. Okay. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's what I'm not feeling. So I think what we're aiming for all those accents and not taking care of the rest. You have to still have rhythmic integrity for the rest of the bar. We're losing that one bar. So think of the spaces between them. Never let go of this. And the whole New Orleans thing is on the back side of the beat. So it's even kind of like leaning back in your chair and almost falling over that far back. Okay, good. Mostly the ensemble is pretty good. I think if he was here, he might tell you overall, I know James is one of my best friends. Overall, it feels too driven. Okay, so the groove that you set up kind of sets everything up at that point. So it's a little too hot. You know what I mean? I think it sort of like, how can I put this? It sort of feels like your approach to it is more like, this is like going to be a really exciting big band tune. And I don't think that's really what he had in mind. That's how his mind works. It's more about lines and textures and this kind of minimalist thing that goes on. So it's not supposed to have huge emotional peaks and huge shout stuff. It's just kind of really controlled. It's like watching a very slow, beautiful car crash. You know what I mean?
That's mild.
You know what I mean? So it's not typical. I mean, and Kurt gets this, but I think as a whole, everybody needs to kind of settle into it a little bit more. So just
behind, like you said, like kind of laid back.
Yeah, relax a little bit. I think, and then the writing, the integrity of the compositional stuff will kind of come through. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't come. I mean, it doesn't happen like, where did that come from? Where did that come from? Nothing's as it appears. So something to work on. Tenor solo. Good job with that. That's really difficult, right? I don't know what it is you're doing, but you're really approaching it from the right perspective. Okay, so just keep working on it. Who are you listening to
for this tune? I actually get a lot of influence from Gavin, who had this chair before me. I would listen to him for 2 years, so I kind of adopted his style of playing. But also, I checked out, he told me, John Coltrane's Spiritual, which was
yeah, it's a very personal kind of solo. Like you can't play licks. You have to play melodies and really outline the harmony. So good job with that. When it goes into a double time feel in the drums, when do you do that?
Let's see.
Okay, so you put a drum time.
I told him to.
Yeah, well, because the bass is open. The bass is kind of playing kind of more, right?
Yeah.
You're not walking at that point.
Yeah.
That's what I was, I think you need to fit with what the bass is doing. So try to experiment with some things that feel like the double time's here, but you're not playing it. You're implying it. Yeah, imply the double time, like edit. Guitar. Boy, that was really nice to hear some lines in the guitar. Congratulations. Usually it's like Jimi Hendrix. And I actually like your tone. It's really kind of dark, you know, so that's cool. That means you've been working on it. Yeah, I think just overall, if I can give you one word of advice on this, just relax on this tune. Let it sort of play out. You know, don't look to bring out anything that's not there emotionally. It's not supposed to be explosive. It's just supposed to be kind of this thing. Okay? Good job with that. Let's do the ballad. Again, very nice. Alto. Good job. Really good job. Just keep working on your sound. You have a goal in mind when you're trying to sound like?
I'm just trying not to, like I just want to have a good tone. I try to get the best tone I can, but I do get nervous.
Yeah, we're okay. Well, I'm just more open, sound more vibrant. You know, you ever heard Benny Carter?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not important. It's just that kind of, just more soloistic, you know, more vibrant kind of sound. And okay, did you play drums on this thing? Yeah. I didn't even realize you switched.
That's a compliment.
Boy, you're actually one of the few drummers I'm going to say thank you for playing the hi-hat. Nobody played the hi-hat today. I don't know why, or yesterday for the most part. But it might be that maybe because you brought your own hi-hats. But I actually could hear it. So the band, like the integrity of the beat was there. Good job with that. Now, because you're playing with brushes, I think what happens is, you have to think, I got to play quiet, I can't get in the way. No, you need to be more interactive with the band. You're not just a human metronome, okay? You need to feel like you're playing off of the band figures. The band needs you to kind of fill in some spots. You know, and the same thing, you could probably kind of do the same kind of stuff. Just fill in, you know what I mean? Like keep the beat moving along. Who can tell me where the bridge is? It should be like a bunch of unison trombones.
I think it's B.
Is it B?
No.
It's,
We all play.
probably
D and E, the trumpet.
B. Okay, so there, intonation. Not something you don't already know about, but it's really exposed, so it's really important that you dial that in. Okay, trombones. Somewhere in the trombone section, you guys don't have to tell me, I'm going to try to find this. You guys have like an eighth note and a dotted quarter note, and an eighth note and a dotted quarter note. Ba, ba.
Yeah, it's during E.
During what? E. Okay, so you got to catch that with them. Okay, and you almost have to set that up. That happens right before the vibe solo, right? So they need the support of the weight on the drum set to help that to lift. Otherwise, it sort of happens like, why didn't you play it? It should be in your part. All right? If it's not, put it in.
We'll put it.
Okay? And my other pet peeve on this is when the band has a chord at the end that's held out long, support it from the drum set with like a suspended cymbal or half open hi-hat or something. Okay? Otherwise, I mean, it's really kind of all about you. Yeah, you did a really nice job. Sometimes I sort of feel like the saxophones, it's a strong section, kind of dominate. Okay, so I could use a little better balance between the saxophones. Also, you guys are on the mic, which is not a bad thing, but it's been that way the whole festival. Kind of too much saxophones, not enough trombones, more trumpets. Okay.
Like, I don't want to reef the saxes down, I want the trumpets and trombones to find
Yeah.
the extra 20%.
You need to blow out a little bit, especially when there's something melodic. You know, there's a lot of unisons in this too, and for the most part, trumpets did a good job. Okay. Let's talk about the George Stone tune. Let's play this.
Such a good tune.
All right, so here we go. All or nothing at all, from the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Start softer, a little more mysterious, because right now it's like ba ba doo ba doo bee ba 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 doo bee ba 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 doo bee boo, and then you start shouting at the end. It's sort of like whoa 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 whoa, right? So a little more.
Cool.
Okay? The whole point is you're trying to get to the quarter note on bar 5. So that's going to happen in the drum set too. Okay? So everybody make that shape just a little more dramatic. Hold off a little bit. Whatever it is you play. It's marked mezzo, but I don't think that's what I'm getting. Okay, let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the difficult part. Who comes in on the downbeat? Okay, so you have to do that with them. When I mean you got to give them boom, and you need to play strong, root downbeat. Okay, so at least we know the time, because otherwise it's 2, 3, 4. All right, let's try it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get a little more kind of New York attitude on that quarter note. How would you write that? D-A-A-A-A-A-H-T, right? Dot. So who playing new trumpet? That's kind of like you can kind of hang over. That's your job. Just to like check it out. I'm awesome. Okay. So really, see, can you just kind of overdo it a little bit within your taste? One more time. Now, anytime this phrase happens, it probably happens at the end too, right? Yeah. The same thing. Make the same kind of shape. Okay? From the top. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Attitude. This tune is really all about singing. I should feel like this. I want to get up and dance and just snap my fingers the entire time. Like that. Oh, and it is beautifully written. So one thing I think will help is you were doing the click thing underneath, I think, the trumpet solo. So I'm going to use that like all over the place, like at the beginning. So do that rim click on beat 4 in the beginning. Okay. The last half of the bridge, I lost the kind of in the brass. I lost articulation in the brass. There's a bunch of moving stuff in here. So we're at 29, maybe something like that. Can I hear everybody at bar 23? Bar 23. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Right there. What's that? It's a little too much tongue. Right? So what's happening is you're treating all the eighth notes equally, even though you're trying to swing them. If you try to swing them, they'll go da 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 ba do do ba do be ba do ba do ba do ba do ba be ba do. Right? So you have to kind of swallow some things and make the shape of it rather than try to play every note. Because when it ends up you over articulate. Okay.